Hello. So a couple weeks ago, we found out that Bungie is bringing a Destiny 2 reprised map, a Crucible map, in the next episode, which is going to be episode 2, Revenants. So we're going to be getting a returning Destiny 2 Crucible map. And what I'm not sure a lot of people realize is there's a very short list of maps this can be, because currently there's only 7 Crucible maps in the game that don't exist, that haven't been brought back out of the DCV. So that's going to be Equinox, Gambler's Ruin, Firebase Echo, Legion's Gulch, Retribution, Emperor's Respite, and Solitude. So I know which of these I want them to bring back. I know that there's going to be fan favorites that I'm maybe not a huge fan of, but I just wanted to go through these one by one, give my thoughts, and I want you all to let me know which of these you want back down below. And how much do you think they're going to change it? Do we think that this is going to be a situation that's kind of like Shores of Time into Distant Shores in Destiny 2, where it's a complete reskin of the map? Or do we think this is just going to be like a one-to-one copy-paste like Widow's Court, and really just play and look pretty similar to the old version of the map? They do call it reprised. That makes me think that they're going to change it a little bit, but that could just be a terminology thing. So I'm not sure. And we also have to keep in mind that next season is like a Fallen or Scorn themed season, so that might play into it, but only one of these is really themed to that. So that's going to be Gambler's Ruin. I found this really sick YouTube channel, Eruk. I'll have this link down below if you want, where he has, or they have, walkthroughs of all the different Crucible maps. It is on console gameplay, so it's a little stuttery, but it's really cool because, you know, we haven't been able to play most of these maps in 3-4 years. It's cool to have this kind of, walkthrough to jog our memory. And then I have some heat maps of the maps I really like. So this is probably the first option, is going to be Gambler's Ruin, very Scorn themed. Right around the size map that they're kind of going for with Cirrus Plaza, Eventide Labs, Dissonance, kind of in that smaller to medium size. I think they're straying more towards that because people seem to enjoy those maps a lot more. I don't know about you guys. I don't know a lot of people that really love those scout rifle maps. So this is where most of the action took place, kind of in this middle section. A team would spawn kind of behind this person here, and then to the left and right, a lot of stuff would happen. Not a lot of cover on this map, just a ton. And this is very similar to Eventide Labs, like just a ton of different overlapping tunnels and doorways and ramps, and it was just a lot going on. It's not very aesthetically pleasing. I think Eventide does a lot better job of this sort of gameplay. I was never a big fan of this map at all, and it was mostly played in small team game modes, if I remember correctly. So I hope they don't bring this one back, but it does fit the theme of the season. So if they're not looking to do reskins or anything, this is probably pretty high on their list. Next is going to be Equinox. I despise this map. This is the last one I want them to bring. Color palette, we've already done it with Eternity, and I don't think it's like interesting enough to really delve into multiple times. And I think this map just plays horrendously. It's pretty much two very long. This is one spawn here, bam, and then you have another kind of perpendicular one behind the point of view here. So it's just kind of like a corner. In between, like here, there's going to be a little area that's more close quarters, but it's tiny. Mostly just 2 huge pulse rifle and especially scout rifle lanes. Almost zero cover. I absolutely despise this map. I never want them to bring it back because I'm not a fan. Third one's going to be Firebase Echo. This is a fan favorite. I was never a really big fan of it because it plays kind of weirdly. So this is 2 catty cornered spawns that really just converge on a single bridge in the middle of the map. And you'll see the camera will pan to it here. It's a tiny walkway. 90% of the fights in this map were like on this hallway or underneath this bridge. And then there's these like barriers here that you can't even shoot through. You can walk through or jump through one way or another. But overall, I very much do not like this map, especially like with the chaos of today's meta where it's all just ability spam. With these like 2 choke points, I mean, holy, it would be ability spam the map. I would just not be a huge fan of this. So I hope this is not the one they bring back. The fourth possibility is Legion's Gulch. This is an interesting map in that it is one of the more unique Crucible maps for Destiny 2, and I think it's a pretty good size. I think they could pretty easily reskin this one to be Fallen themed and go that way with it if they really wanted to, or hell, they could just bring it back as is and throw a couple fallen banners on it. But really, like, here, I have a heat map for this one. These are relict. I actually don't have a heat maps for this one, but very, very interesting. Let me see if I can find one real quick. All right, here we go. I found one. So very interestingly designed map where you have these cannons on both sides where you can jump back and forth. I'll have Relict, his Twitter, or their Twitter account linked down below as well. They don't have these for all maps, but most maps. That's pretty cool. So, but you have these cannons that can launch back and forth. This bridge was chaos as well. It wasn't quite as chaotic as Firebase Echo, in my opinion. But you had a lot of stuff really converge on this middle street as well. Kind of one spawn here, potential spawn on the drill. I think this one played very interestingly. I think it could use a little bit brushing up for today's meta. But it's kind of cool. I wouldn't mind seeing this one back, to be honest. The next one I think would be really cool. This is Retribution. Sorry, it's jump scared me. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. Essentially like just a Cabal warship donut floating in the sky. Really awesome aesthetic. There's not really a way you could reskin and make this one fallen that I could think. Maybe you could put it on like a giant catch or something, but I mean, just very, very close quarters gameplay for the most part. Very circular. You're always chasing the enemy team around and their spawns and stuff. Very good for objective game modes. Here it is again. It's called Retribution. And so, I mean, just a very, very interesting, strange map that I think could work. It's about the size of the new maps. It plays to a lot of different weapon strengths, but especially more that close quarters thing, which is what they're going for more nowadays. And I think this is a really loved community map. So I think this one could work personally. Next one, we're getting into the final two. These are my favorite ones. Emperor's Respite. This is a Callus theme map. I would love for this thing back. People did not like this map. I liked this map. People did not like this map. Very kind of weird, long map, not symmetrical at all. Lots of different flank routes and stuff. I mean, this map was definitely designed with like 4v4 trials in mind, I guess. But just a very elegant, ornate map. I would love to have a version of this that has like the Haunted Leviathan from Season of the Haunted, Egregore and Red and stuff. I think it'd be sick. Pretty good size map, lots of different size covers and stuff. Here's a better view of it. I think, right along the exact size that they're looking for. I think maybe they could alter a couple head glitches and stuff and make it a very, very strong map, in my opinion. I don't know. I know a lot of people didn't like this one though, so I don't want to be like, oh, they should definitely bring this one back. But I was a pretty big fan of this one. I'd love to see it with a renewed aesthetic. I think that'd be awesome. Then my favorite of these 7 maps was Solitude. This is the kind of partner map to Meltdown. I believe they both came out in Warmind. This one is on Mars as well. I have always just been in love with the aesthetic of this map, with the size and the layout of this map. It's it's kind of like a circle, but it's got 3 compartments. It's less laney of a map, I guess, but it's kind of like 3 individual zones that are really paired together really well, in my opinion. Just a beautiful aesthetic. I think they could update this one to look absolutely incredible. And here is the kind of map for this. So you can see what I mean. Like, it's less like, the classic map layouts, like 1 lane, 2 lane, 3 lane. This one's less that. It's like 1 zone here, 1 zone in the facility, and 1 zone out here. And they meld together really well. And I think there's really interesting, like most of the fights took place on what they're calling the porch here, or around heavy. But just like, what a sick map. I would love for this map to come back. Personally, I think it's criminal that Vostok came back and this thing didn't come back. I think it is criminal that the Dreaming City one came back. I hate that map. Why is that one back? Bring this one back. This one's incredible. So I just think this would work with all of our game modes and our abilities and stuff nowadays. I think would work really well in this map, and I would love to see it back. Let me know what you think of these 7 maps, and specifically which one you want to see return. And do you think they'll change the aesthetic, or do you think they'll just bring it back as is? Let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. Peace out. See you, everyone.